Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Mosh Vets. I'm Dave, and I'm joined with my co-host
Justin. You let
And
me
where
say it
are
this time.
where are we, Justin?
We're at Waterboys Skate and Surf Shop in Pensacola.
And we have our guests here. If you want to introduce yourselves,
I'm Dee Dee Kohl.
I'm Brian.
and what do you guys do in the music scene?
Photography.
Awesome.
Lots of photos.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Lots
Yes,
of
you do.
photos.
And Brian, what's your deal?
I carry a camera bag.
Well, that's not
I'm
all
really good at it. Too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to brag. But.
You have some other things that you do. You're in a band, right?
Well, yeah, no, I'm in a
Yeah.
band. Yeah.
And what's the name of your band?
I don't want that. No. I'm in Dead Devils. We are a kind of metal punk rock hybrid. We are really good at playing okay music. So
Nice.
That's like our shtick.
Awesome. I was actually listening to Crypt Kickers on the way here, so
I'm sorry.
no, it's cool.
No,
No,
it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It reminds me of like back when I was like discovering music and stuff, and like that stuff used to make me so excited because it showed me like I grew up listening to my mom would like Blair country and stuff, and I just was like, oh, this is not my thing, you know. And then I started getting more into like punk and rock and stuff, and it just reminds me so much of those days where I was like, oh, this is, you can actually do this. And then I started to learn guitar, and I'm like, this is so cool. So
Like it's fun. It's
Yeah. If I can make anybody feel like they're 16 again for 30 minutes, I'm stoked.
Oh, yeah,
There's not
no.
a problem in the world. You're just having fun.
dude, there's something about that, you know, when you're at a show and you're just like having so much fun, you know. I love finding bands like that where it's just a good time, you know. So
when it started funny, it just was Brian kind of bugging Alex for a while, for like a year.
Yeah, who's all in your band? You got Alex Eternal, right?
Yeah, we got Alex Turnell. We got Carl. I can't say Carl's last name. I don't. It's not like it's secret. I just.
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Or one of
And we
those.
just got Brian Norris, who was in
Pardon the scars.
Pardon the
Oh,
Scars.
okay, yeah.
Yep. And so that's the four of us.
Right on. That's cool.
nice.
And they had tryouts. I always thought it was a funny story about how they had tryouts.
It was really weird. So I'd walked in with my guitar, and it was almost like a scene out of Oz or something. Carl gets real close to me, pushes me against the wall. He's like, "I'm your bass player now." And I'm like, "Dude, fucking red." And that's
Hell yeah.
it. And Carl never left.
He's like, I didn't know it was tryouts. I just didn't go.
He's like,
didn't leave."
I'm here. You just, yeah, this is it. Okay.
I am the captain.
Yeah. Dude, it's like, I'm like, all right, dude, you got it, man. You got it. You're in. And he's great. Love him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carl's-
And Dee Dee, when did you start doing photography in the area here? When did you officially start up?
About four and a half years ago.
Okay.
Did my first show. I was doing stuff just sitting by myself at the dock, like at Joe Patty's with my camera and just taking pictures of birds, sunsets. And I went into a vintage and oddity shop that's no longer here. It was called Nearly Dead Threads. And I ended up working there and meeting Barry and Jeremy, who owned that shop. And Barry, there was something about Barry where she just encourages people to do things that they didn't know they were good at, which is,
Oh, nice.
she's like, I feel like you would be really good at this. And then I tried it. And then someone else said, I think you would be good at music photography. And I did it. And I'm like, I'm never doing anything else now.
Oh,
That's
dope.
so sick.
And I did my first
Was
show.
that something you were ever interested in, or it
Not
was just
music
like,
photography.
Oh, okay.
It didn't seem like it was something attainable because I was so far away from being able to do anything like that. I think just sitting by myself most of the time.
Yeah, we were really disconnected from the scene back then.
oh,
We had
wow.
just moved
We
back
had
into town
little
and
kids,
didn't know
too.
anybody yet, so.
And our youngest son, we didn't want to leave with babysitters because he was a lot to handle when he was little. So once he got older, we started getting out and doing a little more. And now that our kids are, high school and college now, so
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
feel a little. They're good, independent, good kids. And the Queers, the Riptides, and Earl's Killer Squirrel. That was my first show at Vinyl.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
Rob over at Night Moves was letting me do photos there, and I was just practicing all the time there, learning. I'm always learning and practicing every time. I mean, I'm still learning every single time I do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's anything. You know, you just keep getting better and challenging yourself. Like,
Anything
awesome.
creative.
Yeah.
Like an artist
I know.
of any kind is
It
always,
sucks to be a
you should
creative
always be
man
learning
sometimes. It's so much
something,
pressure.
You know what I mean?
It was the
Learning
thing I
to-
didn't know that I needed. Because I moved from things so fast, and this, for me to learn every time I pick it up, I'm like, there's always something to keep my interest going. So I've never done anything this long without walking away and trying something new. And this one, I'm like, I just learned something new again, and it just keeps my interest going and going and going.
Yeah.
Kind of like being married to Brian, like.
Nice.
You gotta keep him guessing.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so cool.
So now that you've been doing it for 4 years, you started off like doing one show at the Vinyl, and I know you're at the Handlebar and everything. What are you doing now? That
I'm doing house photography at the Handlebar for Vinyl Music Hall and at Pensacola Bay Center.
that's sick.
And it's been really cool. And then I just did a show with TK 101 at the Mobile Civic Center, and everybody out there was super kind. It was a really
What show was that? Was that the In This
This
Moment?
Moment?
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
it was the Dark
I am
Horizon
so
tour.
sad I missed that.
It was amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty
man.
rad.
Yeah.
It was the most challenging show I have ever done photos of, because I was not allowed, with all the pyrotechnics and all that stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. I was not allowed near the stage,
Oh, wow.
and I was not allowed in the general admission area where all the seats were. I had to be behind them, or I could go up to the stands on the side. So it was challenging. It was really challenging.
Adapting and overcoming.
Wait, that was with Fit for a King, right?
Yes.
Did you meet, oh God, did you meet Ian Urquhart?
I did
He's
not
the
meet
photographer for Fit for a King. So.
I did not meet. I know who he is just by work and reputation. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but I
his
did
work is
not.
He was
amazing.
at the Vinyl,
Yeah.
wasn't he? When they played there?
Doesn't he do photography for somebody else too?
Yeah, I prevailed too. Yeah, he's
Oh,
so nasty, dude.
Yeah, he's
So, yeah, backstory on him. I met him. He was a photographer in the Boston, New Hampshire scene. And then, much like you, it's just like he was starting out with the locals and
Yeah.
all that. And then, you know, sometimes some people, you just see their work and you're like, okay, this dude's got it, you know? Like,
yeah.
and it's almost kind of annoying because, like, you know, when you're in a band too, like you play with a certain band, you're like, all right, they're going somewhere for sure. Like,
Yeah.
you hope other people hear you and think the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you just know. And he was one of those people that was just around the local scene where I was like, this kid is it. And then I got his opening with I Prevail for however that worked. I have no idea. I just know he was posting a ton on Instagram and using tags and all that stuff. He was very good at promoting himself, which is like great for the podcast. But like, God, he was so good. He just kept putting out content, you know. He's
And
real smart
got
with it too.
He's definitely got like a signature style.
Oh yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
I don't know every single concert photographer's name, but there are ones that always stick out. And when you said that, I was like, that name. And then I knew as soon as you said that, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
But he's got a really cool signature style.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's built that himself. I know he never went to school for photography. He just picked up a camera and now like he's producing stuff that you're like, dude, you like how? But he's a really good buddy of mine and like he's just such a nice kid too. So I'd love to shout him out on the podcast. And
That's awesome. Yeah,
you
I
know.
have not met him, but it would have been. It gets so busy sometimes. I think up there right. Before
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's
And
working. Yeah,
I was
everybody's
not
working.
allowed close
Yeah.
to the stage for this.
Yeah.
I was there. We did the meet. I went in with the radio station for the meet and greet for From Ashes to New. And
Oh, nice.
Then, what a good group of guys that.
Oh, they're
is.
sweet dudes,
They're
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, I met them with
I don't know them. I just being in the room.
Yeah.
Didn't, like meet anybody, but they just seem like really good, funny, genuine guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked. Well, I met them they play with Ice Nine Kills at the Palladium, and
I wanna
got to
see
meet
Ice
all
Nine
them. And
Kills.
dude, I've seen Ice Nine Kills. I worked for we made music videos. I worked for a studio after I left the band, and we shot behind the scenes for an Ice
Oh,
Nine
yeah.
Kills music video. So, and Spencer used to manage my band way back in the day. He helped us out with like our kind of management kind of thing. He was friends with our singer, so he was like, "Oh, let me just help you out," you know, and
awesome.
tossed us some shows. We played sold out shows in Boston with Ice Nine, and
That's super.
dude, it was they are shout out Ice Nine, dude. Spencer is one of the nicest dudes ever, and like I don't think I've heard one bad thing about that dude. So he's such a good guy.
I know some photographers that have done photos with them. It's always super like positive.
Yeah.
Every time I hear anything about them.
Dude, he was such a good dude. We were in the green room, like, waiting to record and stuff, and he just, like, put on a show. Like, he was just so entertaining. He didn't want to, because it's kind of boring. You're just sitting there, like, doing all the planning, all the setup. I don't know, have you shot a music video? Is that something that's
Yeah.
in the future you want to do?
We've done, I think, about 9.
Oh, wow,
8 or 9,
okay,
yeah.
awesome.
10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we rented out, it was like a theme park, because, you know, they're all, like, big on that stuff. And
Yeah.
it was for the I don't know if it is the end, that music video where he's like
Yep.
a clown and we're like going so I was doing the BTS for that video.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Super
and
cool.
like so we got to hang out with the band and you know, got to meet Ricky and all the Joe who I already know and all them. So it was just so freaking cool. It was a lot of fun. But he was such a good dude. He just like cracked jokes and kept going around to like the blood guy and you know I wish we had a blood guy, you know, and just like joking with everybody and such a good dude. So shout out to Spencer.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of cool opportunities from being in a band. So, which I don't really talk about a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to make this about me.
Well, we're all talking. It's not just about one
Yeah.
person. We're all talking. We're just talking.
Yeah. No, it's just cool to get those opportunities. You know, you start out like just doing locals, and then next thing you know, you're shooting in this moment at a big venue like that. It's so cool. So,
That is one of my favorite moments. That was one of my favorite moments.
when you were in this moment,
I was in this moment at that moment.
So what's it like shooting in the Civic Center? Like just being involved in the whole kind of behind the scenes and
did you get there and you're like,
It's-
everybody out of my way, I'm a photographer.
No, because you guys know me.
I know
Justin
you're
knows
not.
me really well.
just
Where
showing everybody your badge, like hey.
it's usually me hiding like in the back somewhere until somebody tells me I'm supposed to be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm always worried that I'm going to be in the way when I'm not supposed to be, and I don't want someone to remember me as the one that was intrusive.
Yeah, I feel you.
And-
Yeah.
But I accidentally get in the way a lot still, and it's how I don't know. Embarrassing myself is like how I meet people. I don't know why.
I feel that. Yeah.
It's
Oh my God.
I jumped in front of an artist that I've listened to since I was a kid this year when I was trying to get out of his way, and then almost like tripped onto him, and I'm like, sweet.
Hey, guys.
That's so sweet.
That is absolutely me. I'm foot and mouth disease all the time. So like I have a cool story for the podcast, but I got to do VIP for Struggle, who's on tour with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
And, you know, Jelly Roll, there's so much hype behind him, all this stuff that's going on. You know, he's playing sold out shows right now to 10,000 people at these amphitheaters. So I'm standing outside of Struggle's bus, and we're about to do the meet and greet for VIP and stuff. And I run the meet and greet, so I'm like, we're running late. So I was going on the bus to let Struggle, like, hey, man, let's go. We got to go do the meet and greet.
Oh yeah.
And I walk on the bus, and you know how small it is in there.
Yeah.
So there's all the crew is hanging out on the bus. I don't know. I'm just like going on the bus, like, hey, Struggle, let's go. He's sitting here. I like open the sliding door, and it's freaking Jelly Roll just sitting there on the couch. And I'm like, it's so uncomfortable because everyone's in there, and it's freaking like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. I'm wet as hell because it just rained and it's like a thunderstorm. They almost canceled the show. And I'm like standing there next to Struggle, like shoulder to shoulder, soaking wet. And I'm just like, what's up, Jelly? And they're like in the middle of a serious conversation. I'm like Oh, this is so fucking awkward.
It was out at the wharf, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You
It
call
was
him like
so
Mr.
weird.
Roll.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Roll.
Hey, Mr. Roll.
How are you?
Oh, I was so embarrassed, dude. And
he
I
was
had to be
super
like,
nice, wasn't it?
Oh,
Like,
he was
everyone
so
says
sweet.
He's like the nicest person.
and I'm not going to bring up the conversation they were having, but I will say, like, what they were saying was super, like, I was like, damn, this dude deserves everything he's getting. Because him and Struggle, they were discussing meet and greets, and, like, what they were saying about it was just like, dude, these dudes are so nice. Like, they'll do anything for their fans. So it was just such a, to walk in on that conversation and the moment, like, as embarrassing. I was probably red as fuck. Like, I was just, and I'm like, I'm not even joking. I was like drenched.
I totally vibe with that.
Yeah.
This one had put his arm over me and he's like, "It's okay, sweetheart." And I'm like, oh, that's how he's going to remember me. He might not remember my photos, and he's going to remember.
He
the
will
moment
remember
that I
you, though.
embarrassed
You know what I
myself.
mean? So, like, I think people, those kind of moments when people kind of, like, embarrass themselves, it's almost like you're putting yourself out there, like, people enjoy it. It's, anyone could just walk in, hey, let's go, whatever. But, like, when you walk in, you're like, let's like,
Falling up.
yeah, like, almost like a Frasier moment, like, come in the door. Like,
I think anybody would much rather that than you walking in, like, chin up, like,
oh, yeah, because you're
like,
real.
acting like, you act like a real person instead of somebody who's just like, I'm here and we must do exactly what I said.
Yeah, no
Like,
one,
like big
no one
time in
enjoys
peop-
that
big time in
person,
people,
really.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like people that are silly. It's kind of fun to
I
be
usually
around.
bring cookies to shows where
Yeah.
I've got too much time between getting ready and being at the show. It's not that I'm super anxious; it's that I need to be busy all the time. Like
Yeah.
even here, I do this with my hands a lot because I just feel like I'm not doing enough right now, and I am, but I need to feel busy. And I end up making cookies and bringing them to like the shows that I'm most excited about. I usually bring cookies to those shows, and then I share them with the band because I'm usually there before doors, and then share them with the staff and share them with the artist.
That's awesome. Everybody remembers you for that. They don't remember you for falling over your side.
I'm like, if I fail
Honestly.
tonight, they'll remember the cookies.
Yeah, you have like two extremes. Like,
Maybe.
like I gotta do something really good because I know I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna fall over something. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I know artists. Like, I've met so many bands, and like everyone says, one of the worst things that you can do, and this is for the podcast and any fans out there, is if you get like a moment alone with an artist and you get the chance to like just have this kind of moment, it's like one of the worst things that you can do is just be like, man, that record, like, tell me how you wrote that. Like, you just like, sometimes, especially when they're like chilling in the green room, the last thing anyone really wants to do is like talk about work.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like, as cool as it is, like, a lot of these dudes are like, they're at work, or they're like waiting to go to work, so they're just chilling, they don't want to talk about it. Like, really the only thing you can do is just be genuine and just be like a nice person. Hey, what's up, dude? How you
I
doing?
have done breath
Like,
work with artists, no names, not just one, but many actually, where we recognized each other's anxiousness or anxiety, and I'm like, I have an exercise for that.
oh my god, we should have done that before we started recording. I get really anxious like all the time with like stuff like this. Like, I don't really seem like it, but I start like talking a million miles a minute. So
I
yeah.
either get really quiet or I end up saying too much, and I'm like, edit that 10 minutes out.
Yeah, I
couldn't
actually,
stop.
when I talked to you outside Vinyl, I got that because I was like, I get really excited talking about music. Like,
Yeah.
there's just some, like, this is so fun to do. It's just to have people like you guys on is just so cool because,
Thank you.
yeah, I love learning. The military gets me excited, and music gets me excited, and family. Like, those are my three things.
It's
you know?
music and family for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's so much fun to talk about this stuff. And it's just creative people, like,
Yeah.
once you're around people that like to create and, especially inside the music scene and stuff, it's just such a hard thing to get into. So,
I still don't understand how this all happened and worked.
I've been sitting here trying to think of when I met you, Dee Dee. Like, I just remember you weren't there one moment, and then you were always there. So I'm like
Yeah.
trying to remember when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
my god.
It's kind of, I don't remember I remember my first show, and then
Yeah.
everything happened so fast.
2019 is when we started hitting Fort Walton.
Was it around 2019?
It was the end of 2019, right before COVID hit. Like we were
Yeah.
Oh,
more in
yeah.
Fort Walton with downtown and Jimmy's and
Downtown.
everything.
Shout out to
Okay.
Downtown Music
Yeah, I
Hall.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say too, you're one of the most brought up people on the podcast so far. So
Yeah.
I think every single person we've had on the podcast has mentioned
Yeah.
you. So
My upper lip started sweating.
oh yeah, I don't mean to bring all
In
this
a
pressure
good,
to you.
in a good way. In a good way.
But no, I think it's absolutely deserved, and like a lot of people look up to you, which is really cool. You know, like
you.
what Griffin said on the pod, which I don't know if you've seen, but
Dude, he's
I-
awesome.
yeah, when he
He's so
said the thing
awesome.
about you had reached out to him and wrote like paragraphs of what to do, it was so cool. Cause like I do that a lot, and I feel like I don't know if you feel this way, but you know, for other musicians, I like to like teach. I love it. You know, I love to like reach out and help in any possible, almost to a fault. Like
Yeah.
I would almost rather you go ahead than me. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, I'd rather pick people up over me than, you know.
I pull people into the middle of the pit, in the photo pit, when I see people that are new, that are like shying away on the side and not sure what to do, and I'm like, here's your spot.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I'll miss shots for it, but I'll get another one. But when
Yeah,
I see
it's gonna
someone that's
pay off.
new,
Yeah.
but nobody was pulling me in at the beginning. I was encouraged, but I don't know. I'm just kind of, once I get out there and start doing something, though, everything else is like drowned out. I'm hyper focused.
yeah.
So, and now when I see other people, I'm like, if somebody doesn't pull them, will they stay over there the whole time, and they're going to miss an
Oh, true,
opportunity?
yeah.
And so I just can't watch some.
Yeah, some
or
people
I see
need that for
settings
sure.
on someone's camera. I've done it to a couple people
Yeah.
where I saw the settings on someone's camera shooting next to me, and I'll point at the number, and I'm like, like that, like go up or go down like that, and I just because I know that they can do like they're not fast enough, or it's not gonna come out right because of the speed or something like that on there. And sometimes people have those settings because that's what they like to shoot with, but sometimes I can see that it's really off.
Yeah, or it's like a default
And I'm
setting,
such a
and you know
mom.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Like the cool thing is like playing shows around here. Like when we get like the vinyl, or like I remember playing Club LA. I think it was Attila.
Yeah, that
It
was. a good
was
show.
like looking out in the crowd, and you're like the only face that I recognize in the crowd, and you being there was like just a moment of like, oh, we're good. You know, like Dee Dee's here. I can stop letting my legs shake a million miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's a
awesome.
comforting feeling just knowing that you're out there a lot of times for a lot of people. I think
Thank you.
in the industry here, or in the scene here, you know, I think everybody just loves you being around. So yeah.
There's a
And
couple
you-
that don't, but
Oh my god.
Well, you can't.
F them.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
can't.
don't know. I mean, I know
Can't
there's
please
some out
everybody.
there. Nobody's been mean or anything.
No.
It just I never.
You're always gonna have haters,
Well, there's
especially
a-
when you're doing like.
Yeah, there's a competitive nature to
Yeah.
everything. It's the same thing with bands or managers or booking agents or anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
It's really hard not to look at people that are like an Ian Urquhart, where he just like blows up, and you're like, come on, where's my chance? You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not saying you've ever thought that way, but I a lot of times would see bands like playing like these big shows, and I'm like, why is that not us? You know, like, and I had to overcome that, get over
Yeah.
it, because it's like,
I think that's just a natural urge of
yeah,
like,
it's
you're
it's
working hard and then
It's
you
a
know.
timing
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
dude. Like everything's timing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just you're not playing in front of the right people at the right times, and there will be like, look at these people that blow up overnight. You know, it's like that kid. Did you see that country singer that just like blew up overnight? He's got
The
like
redhead one who was playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
the rich men north of Richmond or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Like literally, I saw
Yeah.
the video, and then next thing you know, it was like 15 million views or something. It's
Yeah.
like,
Everything you scroll up is there it is again.
yeah. I don't know what the algorithm is for stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it's just like you get one person to shout. I think it was like Joe Rogan posted it, and next thing you know, it was like millions of views. So
Yeah.
Brian is definitely online more than I. Yeah. When I'm not editing, I keep my phone down as much as possible, face down, so I don't even look at it.
Oh, I feel you on that. Yeah.
That's surprising because you answer messages on Facebook like that.
She does.
Doesn't matter what time
I'll send her a video
Don't
and like
tell
4 days
everybody
later
I
she'll
answer.
react to it. I'm like,
Oh, that's how I am with him.
Well,
I don't
she-
answer
you do for me
everybody.
at least. I'm
I-
like, I'll hit you up, and like 2 minutes later, there's an answer, and I'm like, yes.
I have
All right.
moments where I don't answer as fast sometimes, but I do answer you fast.
No, I appreciate
think-
that because I'm the same way. He's told me I'm crazy a lot of times, but I'm the same way. I'm like, the second I get an email, I'm like, and then I'm usually
I'm really
calling,
trying
I'm
to
usually calling
improve
him
on
like,
that.
hey man, I'm trying to figure this out. Let me know if I'm being stupid.
Ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I'm being stupid. And yeah.
I get it.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, it came. Let me know if I'm being stupid. And yeah, and usually I'll bounce an idea off of him or what I'm thinking, and then he's like, no, you're on the right. Yeah, it sounds about right. So I appreciate that you guys always and same with you, Brian. Like I'll message you about a show or something, and it's like, boom, yeah, done. I'll have an answer for you in like 5 minutes, which I guess that goes into like probably your military background.
yeah, I hate.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
We can do that.
Yeah. MOS was 11 Bravo, right? Did I get it right?
Yes, it was.
Nice. I got it right. Air Force, sorry. We're AFSCs.
That's all right. That's all
Oh,
right.
yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. What's your MOS? AFSC, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So when did you start getting in, or when did you get in the military, I guess?
April of 2000 was my entry date. It should have been earlier, but some things happened and I got pushed back a little bit. Nothing bad, just life decided to take another course.
You're allowed to say what?
Yeah.
So-
Anything you want to talk about, or are we going to skip over that and just say,
No, well, it's funny. You know how you have to go through
He pissed hot.
MEPS and everything else.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You do a drug test and
Oh,
everything
that's
else. And
not
I
a
thought I
big
was
deal.
clean because I was doing nothing stupid. And
yeah.
went and took the piss test and it came back. And said, oh, you came hot for weed. I'm like, shit. Okay. You gotta wait 6 months. And came back and like, have you ever done drugs? I'm like, yeah, once. And you guys caught me. I literally told him that. Looked at me. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, yeah, you see him coming back again. But
Yeah.
I was clean, so everything was good. Joined that and went to Benning. Then from Benning went up to Fort Drum, New York, which I advise anybody who's listening and wanting to join the Army, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's just because of Fort Drum.
Yeah, no, I mean, join the Army. Have fun if you want to. I'm all for that, you know.
Just don't put in for. It's just so
Just stay out of the north.
cold. It's so cold.
Yeah.
But we met amazing people there.
Yeah, there's super
Yeah.
rad people. And believe it or not, there was more punk rockers in the Army than I possibly could
yeah.
have fathomed. I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah, there
every,
were so many.
you know, just it was ridiculous. It was great. So it wasn't like weird coming from like the punk rock scene and you know, you feel like you would be turning your back on that whole ideology or whatever. But
Oh, for real, yeah.
You get in there and you see there's just a bunch of other dumbass punk rockers in there
Yeah.
having fun, doing stupid shit. Because who knew that I would be out there, you know, shooting guns and get paid for it? Like,
Yeah.
you growing up in Florida, yeah, you get to, but you don't get paid for it more often than not. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, stayed up there and did a tour in Kosovo. I'm old,
No.
and
yeah.
that was fun. That was post 9/11, so everything kind of kicked off after I got up there for a year, and then Iraq kicked off and went there twice, and then I got injured, went to Fort Benning for a while, and then they're like, "You're too broken to play in the Army, so see you later." I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool. I'm going home,"
Oh wow.
and that's it.
And you were saying you did 2 tours in Iraq. Where were you at in Iraq?
Yeah, I was kind of south central Iraq, just about 30 clicks south of Baghdad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for the first one or for both?
For both of them, it was really weird because I was with one battalion in this certain area, and then 2 years later came back and went literally like where I was stationed at the second time. I could see we were at a power plant, so you'd see the 4 smokestacks on the horizon. I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, you know, I could walk to where
Yeah.
my first tour
Oh,
was. It was really weird,
yeah.
yeah. So, and we took out and went to other places. We were outside of Fallujah for a while when the Marines took it back in April of 2004. We ran missions in there, but our main AO was south of Baghdad.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The closest I got to actual Baghdad was on Route Irish. You know Route Irish, the highway, the most deadliest highway or whatever. They had like a flying man and like swords that crossed.
Yep.
And I got to the swords that cross. I didn't get to the flying man. But, yeah, that was like day one of getting to Iraq. They were like, you want to go outside the wire? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
You know, like, sure,
let's
let's go. I'm Air Force.
Yeah.
I shot my weapon for the one time this year.
Yeah,
Let's go.
right.
And
Let's
so
do
we,
this.
we go.
I qualified.
Dude, we go outside the gate, man. I'm like, just Iraqi people around, us in a rescue vehicle, and we just started driving. And I was like, I don't think my wife or my mother would appreciate what I'm doing right now.
It's surreal, isn't it?
And yeah, and then going off base, like I was like, or outside the wire or whatever, and I didn't feel in danger ever, until I got back to the wire, and then the third country national, I think they were Filipino security, were like, and I'm like, look at me,
Yeah.
I have an ID. They're like, we're good. And they were like, I was like, oh my god, it was like the most danger we got into that day, and we were driving around all off base and everything like that.
That's crazy.
But yeah, there was like some kind of like pump system that we had to go see out there by the airport in case we got a fire on the flight line or whatever. We'd have to turn those pumps on so we could get water, but that was the reason we went out there. Not to be cool or anything.
Oh my God.
But
I never did that, dude. I was in Kirkuk in 04, and
Okay.
I was airfield management, so I was out on the airfield most of the time. But yeah, I never went off base or anything like that. But
what'd you do after the military?
I fished for 2 years, and then I actually taught high school for 3,
I think it was 3. You were teaching marine
3
biology.
and a half. Yeah, marine
Oh,
biology
nice.
and art. Yeah.
That's cool. Was that here in Florida? Or?
Yeah, it was actually where we're at now, Waterboys. It used to be their pie partner, Pensacola Private School Liberal Arts.
Okay, that's what you're talking
Yep.
about earlier. Yeah, okay.
And did that for a few years, and then decided teaching wasn't my thing. I enjoyed doing it, but it just wasn't really me. And then photography picked up a lot, so we just kind of focused on that and doing stuff, and
And that's how we got to where we are now,
that's
huh?
how we're here.
That was it.
Sick.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things, like coming out of the military, was trying to figure out, like, what the heck am I doing next? You know?
You don't really have many job skills,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
from where I'm
especially-
coming from,
Yeah.
it's like,
oh, yeah.
like,
Well,
what
the same
am I
with
gonna do?
fire department. It's like I know one thing.
yeah.
Fire.
I know I'm
And
going to be
then-
working at the fire department.
Yeah, like
I
yeah.
just don't know which one.
Yeah.
Because
And
I-
he's got a full retirement, so we lived like we were retired for a couple years. Bought a boat and figured out that it hurt
Don't
both
want
of
a
our
boat?
backs, and we
Yeah.
didn't want a boat, and it was a lot of stress. And
yeah. Boat's an acronym for break out another 1,000.
it was a
Yeah,
lot
right.
really fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we thought we had a pretty decent boat, and it got expensive really fast. So
Yeah.
Really quick,
we're
so I
like,
was like,
that's
no, I'm
not
good.
it.
That's what my wife wants. All the things I don't want, like pools and boats and things. I'm like,
Griff knows how to take care of the pool.
I don't want to take care. I already take care of
I know
3
somebody.
dogs, and I don't even want like.
We all know somebody.
Yeah, I want to just be able to pick up and go. That's my whole thing.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
same.
Like,
That's-
but my wife's like, let's get a pool. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's just more responsibilities you're
I
adding,
don't want
you know?
anything
Yeah,
that
that's what I
ties
say.
me
Like-
to
Giant
any
pool out
place
there.
Yeah.
permanently. Even though our house, we did buy our house, but I don't want stuff like that because it's kind of like getting solar where I don't know if I'm going to stay here for. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never lived anywhere for more than 2 or 3 years since I was born. So
How long have you guys been here now?
10,
Yeah, I know.
11.
Wow.
11.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been here 15 now. I think. Yeah, 15. 15
Wow,
years.
you guys
I've
are
loved
old.
people from everywhere I've lived, but there was something
he said-
about this community. That's why I
Well, he
stayed.
said he came in April of 2000, and I came in September of 99.
Oh, wow.
I always joke at like
Oh.
work, they're going to be like, so what was it like fighting fire in the 90s?
I was
Did
supposed
you
to come
guys
in.
even have like
Around September 99.
masks to wear? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, we're out there with just buckets.
Yeah. we
Buckets
were
and
bucket
loincloths.
brigades. Yeah. It was
Yep.
good times.
Yeah, I never thought I mean, when I was a kid, I used to dress as like an army guy and all that, wear camo, and I
Yep.
thought it was the coolest thing ever. And my grandfather was in the Air Force for 31 years and retired, and he was a badass dude. He fought in 3 wars, was a pilot, like. And then I always like think that's so funny because when I joined, I went and enlisted. Like, I took any job they would give me because I was just trying to get the out of my hometown, and they were like, "You want to be an electrician?" And I was like, "Fuck it." And when does it leave? And they're like,
do
"Next
this."
month." And I was like, "Cool, sign me up."
I'm out.
And I talked about it before, but 9/11 had just happened, so I'm like, I'm fucking these dudes up. Like, I don't care who it was. Like,
Yeah.
And then joined, but yeah, I thought it was so funny because my family was all excited, and my uncles and all that were like, thought it was so cool. I was joining the Air Force and stuff, but they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? You flying planes? Like, what's up?" And I'm like, "Nah, just driving around the runway," which was still a cool ass job, but
Yeah.
for my grandfather being a pilot to me doing that, it's just it's so funny.
I can't believe I've been in, like, it was the 2000s, and I still hear people say that about the Air Force. Like, when you say you're in the Air Force, they're like, "Oh, so you fly planes?"
Oh yeah,
Like,
dude.
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's all sorts of jobs.
Yeah, they always ask me what my sister's service is, so she can work like anywhere on base, like gym, the hotel, like the whatever barracks, all that stuff, and she works in the morgue right now, the mortuary. So, and she does readiness too, so she's sending people overseas deployments and things like that, and making sure they have everything they need. But a lot of people don't think that that's like a part of the Air Force. Like there's so many jobs in you're running a little city, so
Yeah.
you need police, you need fire department, you need people that work on the airfield that look over the airfield and tower and all the different things, but and then medical, and a lot of people just don't think about that side of it. So
No.
which every branch has, so every time I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, you flew planes?" I'm like, "No." And then I'm
I
afraid.
looked at him for a while.
I'm afraid of heights too, which I'm not afraid to admit. And like every time I tell people that, they're like, "Air Force, and you're afraid of heights?" I'm like, I didn't know until I joined the Air Force that I was afraid of heights. It's because I was an electrician. You have to climb the ladder, and
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
hooked in and stuff. I got halfway up, and I was like, "Fuck
I'm
this."
done.
Oh.
I'm done.
I don't know
I
if
don't
it
wanna
helps
I
that
don't want to do that either, dude.
there's like a TI at the bottom, like, "Get up there!"
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So I have
and
a
you're
question.
like,
What was the PT, the regular PT for you were Air Force also, right? What was the PT like compared to? Someone told me that it's different.
Yeah,
Army
you're talking about
Air
the
Force.
the
standard.
requirements
Yeah,
are different.
You guys
yeah.
do pull-ups, right? You didn't do
We didn't.
pull-ups? What was your I forgot what it's called.
The APFT was push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run.
Okay, we do push-ups, sit-ups, waist measurement, and 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
Someone told me that you don't run as much. Look, that's why
No, we
when-
didn't.
Oh, we ran
No,
a
so
lot.
Oh, you
when
did?
we came
Yeah.
in, and when did you try to come in? You
Same time around that.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been same.
So
time.
when we all tried to come in, you had to do that. We did a bike test.
Yeah.
And push-ups
That's
and
what
sit-ups.
someone told me. I was like, the Air Force
Yeah.
is for me.
So, yeah. So I got to experience that for about 3 years, and then in 2003 they switched over to actually doing a PT test like they used to back in the day, and it's been that way ever since. And they have fluctuations in it and like different standards. Like now, I think they can do like a plank. But like all this stuff that you would think would be easy, they make it like you have to do it for a certain period of time. That
You
you're
gotta
like,
be there
I'll
for 20
just
minutes.
I'll just do 60 sit-ups and be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for some people it's
Yeah.
super simple, and others it's tough. But yeah, you have to meet a certain number, and you can't be under or over on time.
It was
and
dope there for a while because I used
well,
to
you can
just
be
sit
under on
outside the
time.
fitness center and smoke a cigarette, and then I would go in there and it would jack your heart rate up enough that like you would pass in 2 seconds. So you'd be on there for like a minute, and they'd be like, "You're good." And then if you like the people that were all really in shape and everything like that, they'd have to be pedaling on that bike for like 15, 20 minutes and fluctuating with the resistance and everything, trying to get the heart rate. It was just run, get it over with, beat the time.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it though. I liked all the running. When I got to basic, before basic, my dad was like, because my dad was Air Force, and he was like, "You got to start running now." He's like, "Before you leave,
Yeah.
Yep.
just start running." And dude, I ran miles. Because I was so nervous the whole time I'm running. I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to do this every day. And then once I got to basic, they're like, "All right, let's go." And I'm like, "All right." Like no problem,
Yeah.
and marching everywhere and in formation. I was just ready. My dad definitely prepped me for it, so
Yeah.
One thing he said, he's like, don't volunteer for shit. He's
Yeah.
like, if they ask you, he's like, I don't care if they ask for the tallest guy in the group. You don't
Yeah.
say shit.
If somebody shouts, "Hey, you!" fucking stare at the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Funny story. Quick, but we were in the chow hall, and you know how they have the snake pit.
Oh yeah.
And so for people that don't know, the snake pit is where all the MTLs, TIs sit, and they're sitting there eating, and you go down the line, get your food. You don't look at them. You just turn and you go right to where you sit.
Up. Yeah.
And everyone's in formation, so you're like, go right down the line. You know exactly where to sit because you're the next guy to sit in that chair or whatever. And I looked up, and we got a new TI, and she was gorgeous.
Nice.
And like, I hadn't seen girls in a while, you know, because you're there for, you know, a couple weeks, whatever. And I like turn, and I'm just like, God, she is gorgeous. And I like stopped for like a second, and all of them looked at me.
That was enough.
Dude, they were
waiting.
ready to tear me apart. And I like stopped, looked at her, and then I like start going. They're like, trainee! And I just right to my seat, sat down, and the kid behind me stops, and he's like, Sir Airman reports the order, and they just start tearing into him. And because he just and he did something dumb. I don't know, because I was just like, I'm out, going right to my. And they're like, what's this? And they're finding strings on his uniform, and they tore him apart. And I was like, thank you, Dad, thank you, like, because he was like, don't stop, don't volunteer, don't even look at them. I was like, out. So best thing ever too. I saw her like every day too, so I was like, what's up?
I only got hit once by the snake pit, man. They were asking everybody who walked through the line. Our big chant when we were in there was like, they would say like AEF, and then you would say Air Expeditionary Forces. We go where the war is, because that was starting up that operational Air Force at the time, and the whole thing was we go where the war is. So we said it every morning, AEF, Air Expeditionary Forces. And then going through the line, and it was like week 4 or something like that. And I kept hearing out like this, hands on your tray, moving, and just looking straight ahead at the lady. And she's like, it's going to be okay, baby. And you're like, thank you.
Still talk to me.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
She's
Please just give me my
don't
food.
even look at the dessert tray. I'm like, I'm not going to look at the dessert. And so I'm like moving, and I keep hearing, what's AEF? And then I hear, and I just, I see knife hands coming out, and I'm like,
Shit,
oh,
here it comes.
shit. And so I turn and start doing my facing movements, and man, I tried to hit a freaking, right foot or left face, and freaking I go, and I hear, Trady, stop, turn around. And I was like, holding my tray, and they're like, what is AEF? And I was like, Air Expeditionary Forces, and I think I gave him this look. Fucking excellent. Why
You're
are
gonna have
you
to go
the
back and
only
edit,
one that
sir.
knows? And he just kept screaming at me in a good way, And I was like proud of myself, I was like chest bowed out a little bit more, and I was like, yeah, fucking. I think you gave me a couple extra minutes to eat that day. It was good times, man. That was the only time I got hit by the snake pit. Man, it was fucking great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I fucking overcame, dude. It was fucking great. Born leader,
Yeah. No, we all have a moment. They tried to pull my 341, and I just kept moving. I don't know if you know what that is,
I
but
have no clue.
So you have
demerit.
to.
No.
Yeah, it's just like you have it in your cargo pocket. You have 3 on you at all times, and it's literally just like a little. For anyone that doesn't know what a 341 is, it's just like a little thing that's like you could fit a paragraph,
Right.
and it's your name and then like the last 4 of your social. And then if somebody pulls it, they write what you did, and then they turn it in, and now you have a demerit against
And
you.
then at the end of the day, they're like, everybody show your 341s, and if you only have 2 or however many, you're fucked.
They know that you messed up that day, so then you get some kind of like disciplinary
walk
action
on the
or something like
grass
that.
if you're bobbing and weaving and acting like a, stupid person. Man, it's rough, dude. Acting like a stupid person, bebopping down the road. Yeah, they'll get you.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of them stop me because I actually, you say don't volunteer for anything. The only thing I heard, I'm not a religious person at all, but the only thing I heard to volunteer for was chapel guide.
Oh,
when we were
yeah.
in, and every morning I would get up on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't even know what they did on Sundays because they were like, we need chapel guide, and I was like,
Right here.
I was like, hand was up, I was standing up in the background. They were like, your chapel guide is sick, and so every Sunday we would get up an hour early before everybody else, go to the chow hall, eat with all the rest of the chapel guides and the nice kind ladies at the chow hall. Oh. And they're like, they're like, hey, baby, you want some extra this? You want some pancakes? You want chocolate milk?
They
You
look
want,
over your shoulder.
you
like,
want, it was crazy. Yeah, and they're like, don't worry, baby, they ain't coming.
Where's my
they ain't
TI?
coming.
Where
We got
is he?
you.
Yep.
And we're like, okay. And so we'd eat a whole bunch of food, and then we'd all march to the chapel, and then from there we'd march back over here, pick up the troops for church. So it was like Catholic church was at this time, Pentecostal at this time, whatever, and you would take them, and then you could go to every single one of the masses. So the whole day was
Oh,
just
and you
filled
just
with
chill, yeah.
you were just chilling, and then after
Everyone
like,
else is doing additional duties
Yeah,
and
when you-
cleaning the dorms.
yeah,
Oh,
they were all waxing the floors, and
Dude,
then
I
when I got there, there was like all the chapel people were just like, "Do you want a soda? Do you want candy? Do you want this? Do you want that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then you just sit in the back, and then usually people like, I don't know how it was in the army, but like church was rocking. Like they'd have bands and stuff playing. Oh, it was like,
No.
and I mean, it was like, they were like,
he's getting so mad right now. He's like, fucking Air Force.
Protestant one was like, they were going,
asked
they were playing like
him
rock and
to-
shit. And
No, there was another drill sergeant up there screaming at you about
oh, really?
church. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, we go and have this nice little. It was like, no,
it
you get up
was-
there and get your ass chewed again
Oh.
about being fucked up because you're a sinner, and then you
no.
go back and get. Yeah, it's like,
Dude, I had,
Oh, wow.
it was cool shit. It was a day off. I had a day off every Sunday. It was
They
great.
did ask you though if you wanted to,
oh yeah, my chaplain was trying to get me as his assistant. I'm like,
Nah, not for me.
and like he knows the Bible well, but
Yeah,
not-
but it's like,
Yeah.
you're not going to want him in there.
no, I'm gonna steer people away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it
You
was,
see smoke coming off it.
I'm good. I'm good.
it was super.
No
dope.
offense.
That was the only thing I ever volunteered for, I guess you could say, and it worked out. It was the best thing ever. It was just a day off. I could eat whenever I wanted to. Like
Oh, dude.
was
I have a
super
theory on that, too. I feel like they can sense, like, who's going to be, like, a good airman and who's not. Because, like, I got KP duty, and, like, which means you wake up every morning, get everything ready for chow and everything. I mean, we had to wake up super early and, do all the dishes and all. And it was a lot of work, but we got to just chill and eat most of the time.
Yeah.
So it was like we got breakfast hot off the grill, like we were spoiled, and I got to do KP duty almost every day. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Sound terrible.
they must see something in me or something. I know I was underweight too, so I think they were just trying to plump me up a little bit too. But
I
yeah,
was too. How much did you weigh going in?
I was 6'2". I'm the same height as I am now, obviously, and then I was like 135 or something like that.
I was 6 foot 145.
Yeah, because I deployed and
Same.
came back.
I was tiny.
I was like, by the time I got back from Iraq, I was 185, and I was in like the best shape of my life. And I wish I could be back there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all you have to do, and I tell everybody
Every day I was
the
at
only
the
thing
gym,
you have to
yeah.
do is like smoke. Well, when I went, we didn't have anything. I'm sure when you went, you didn't have anything either. There was no computers really. There was no.
It
No.
was a 10-minute
Satellite
phone.
phone call.
once
Yep.
a week. Yep.
Yeah, I had like the phone card. Yeah, and then you'd go to the wherever the
this was
phones were.
like a sat phone. You had to flip it out. And
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
We got 10
Oh,
minutes
damn.
once a week
Well,
to
he was
talk.
kind of
And
like a fob type.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
okay.
more of an OP, not even a fob. It was
Yeah.
like just us, and then
Yeah.
but it was 10 minutes of, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
yeah, it
I
was
can't
easily
hear you.
30-second delay at any point.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there
That
waiting.
was
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So it was
Ugh.
like 16 months of that, I think that too. Or
First one was 16.
you were
Second
on
was
16
18.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. You no, I'm just saying, like, for you, because like I know how much pressure that is, like with him being away and
Like
You
letters
know,
were still a thing. Probably
Yeah.
when you were.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
dude. Yeah.
I went home to my family. I wasn't by myself. So
Yeah.
we had our older son already. I mean, he was a baby, but I went and visited his parents for a while. I just kind of traveled and kept myself busy.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool though. Yeah, because I had relationships and got deployed and then came back. I'm single, So like,
Yeah.
just the fact you stuck around is so freaking cool,
that.
It's I don't know. I think from that group, there's a couple of us that were from, that how close knit it is.
It's family, yeah.
It's family. There's only a couple of us from the group that are still married.
Yeah,
at that time.
I had a bunch of people like that too that were at lodges, and then you come back from lodges. It was like 2-year stint, and so many marriages down the tubes. So many marriages of guys like cheating on their wives with chicks on base. I'm like, bro, you're on an island, and then you go to even more smaller of an island. I'm like, you can't find somebody off base. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'm like, dude, like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, a lot of times too, like people were getting engaged in tech school after dating for like 6 months in high school or whatever. So
I
like,
did.
Yeah.
I did.
yeah. So
We
those
did get
times.
married very fast by the
Good
way we
times.
met.
so those marriages were like doomed from the start.
Yeah.
So, some of them. So
So everybody said about ours. I think it was a month after we met, we were married.
It was
wow.
a
Like we
month
moved
and
in
a
2 weeks
half.
after meeting each other.
But I could not stay. Just so you know, I did not have long-lasting relationships like
No,
that.
and it was more of like getting me out of the barracks
Because
and
I was
getting
sick
her
of
her place, so we were
everybody, so.
kind of hanging out and
Yeah.
then just
And after a week, I wasn't sick of him, and I'm like, I like this one the most.
Yeah. Well, I tell people that. I've told Airmen that when they first come in, and they're like, I'm marrying my high school
dude,
girlfriend.
yeah.
I'm like, do you even know where she keeps the towel after she's done drying off? And they're like, no, what does that matter? And I'm like, it may matter 5 years from now that she keeps it on the floor and you don't like that. I'm like, well, I lived with her and her parents. I'm like, that's not the same, dude. Like,
No.
it's just looking out for people, just try to look at it because you see the train wrecks. I mean, I've got guys that have been married 2-3 times, and it's just like, when they get divorced, I tell them, like, learn to be alone for a little while.
Yeah.
Learn to just be by yourself.
number 4 is my lucky number.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Oh,
I
my
got a couple guys that I'm like,
I'll get it
you're
right
like
the
Ross
next time.
from Friends, dude.
Got a little punch
3
card.
failed marriages. So I'm like, yeah.
But you guys know from being married. You guys have been married about the same amount of time as we have, I think.
I've been married for, what is it, 2023? Mm-hmm. I've been married for 20 years.
We were
Yeah.
21 this year.
21
Yeah,
years
yeah.
this year.
Into this
And-
month.
Well, people don't realize it takes a lot of work. Like, it's
Yeah,
a lot
it
more
wasn't
work than
easy,
you
like-
think. And when I got married,
Military.
my son, I adopted my son when we got married, and then my wife had him when she was 17. So it was like, that was her little guy, and they were their little family. And then I had to ingratiate myself, I think I said that word right, into their family, which I didn't really do well with until I had my daughter. And then it all kind of clicked. And I was like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's why you're yelling at me all the time for yelling at him. I get it. Okay. Like it took a little bit. But yeah, like I don't get that whole honeymoon phase when people say there's honeymoon phase or whatever. I'm like, there is no honeymoon phase. It's just like, I didn't have any of that shit. I moved to lodges and
I think if you hate each other in the first year, at any point you're with the wrong person. That I do. I was always. My grandma always said, "You'll know it when you meet the right person because you're not going to second guess it. You're not going to wonder if you're with the right person. You just know that you are."
yeah.
And I didn't do that with him and everybody else.
Yeah.
Within a week of anybody I dated before Brian, I was like, really don't even like that his nose looks different on that side of his face.
Yeah.
I mean, it was stupid stuff. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
we joke about it now, but yeah, that was. It doesn't mean it was easy. It just means I did it with the right person, and our struggles were there, but.
And I got that anchor baby too, so that worked.
I got the anger, baby.
Yeah,
Baby.
no, when I first met you guys too, you guys seemed like a cohesive team
Yeah.
too. So like that's really cool to like first impression for me was like, oh, these dudes are you guys are
Yeah.
a team. Like,
I
so
feel like we worked pretty good together. Everyone said that we were
Yeah.
going to get sick of each other when he retired. They were like, "You're not going to have any time apart," and it's like so much better now.
I think it's a yin to the yang type of deal. Like I've seen him do some husband shit sometimes where I'm like, oh, he's doing some husband shit right now. Like he's like he'll just
You
walk.
pick up on it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because I'm like, she'll be in work mode and and Brian will be like, hey, I just got an idea, and then you're like in work mode, so you're like trying to work, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna step over here for let you do what but yeah, I see it. I just think it's just being married for 20 years and you just see the different thing, the ins and outs and
Yeah.
relationships and stuff like that. So
You figure it out and respect each other's space. And
yeah,
both of us are in that spectrum, so we
Yeah.
understand that about the other, and I think
Yeah.
I think it helps. When he's working on something and I can tell he doesn't want to be bothered, I don't bother him.
Yeah.
If I put my headphones on,
yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
I'm in my own space.
Yeah,
now,
that's-
so.
it happens in my house too. My wife works on one end of the house. I work on the other end of the house.
Dude, that's so important.
Yeah.
I think that's what I look for in a relationship. Like I'm so focused on one thing, like doing the music stuff and all that, and like sometimes I get like just so bombarded with it, and I just spend hours like working on little projects.
Oh,
And my ex was just like, "What's going on? How can I? What can I do? What do you want to do? You want to go to dinner? You want to go here?" I'm like, if you don't leave this room right now, like,
Yeah.
I'm
and
on
it's
a
not
roll.
like I want you here. Like I kind of wanted her there to just like be there because it's
Right.
like it's cool because we were setting up in our office. I had my computer and I wanted to like set up a computer for her, but she was off doing her own thing and stuff, and which is cool. But then she would like come in and be like, "Let's go do something." I'm like, "Leave." Like, get out. I was never mean or anything. It's just I would just there's
Well,
something
you
like
get in a mind.
Yeah.
You do. You're in a space.
yeah, you gotta keep yourself busy right now. I can't do
Anything
it.
that I do, I want to finish it. I want to do it to the best of my ability. I don't like putting things off.
Yeah.
Even when I worked like regular jobs, I ended up some type of supervisor and management fairly fast with everything because I believe in being efficient and not being wasteful. I hate it when people are wasteful and lazy.
Oh my god,
Oh yeah.
I don't-
wasting people's time and
I don't like
yeah.
wasting people's time.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm big about that.
I was gonna say
Get it
that
done. Get out of the way.
90% of the conversations I have with my wife now are just me going, "Huh." What? And then her saying something. I'm like, I can't fucking hear you because I have tinnitus. And then,
both
like,
have
yeah.
Oh, I think I'm coming down with it right now too. My ear keeps getting blocked up.
Oh, you just gotta clean that bad boy out.
I
now?
did. I just put peroxide.
Oh yeah, and did you
Yeah.
flush it, dude? Get some
Yeah.
footballs out of there, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the candle? I've never done it, but I
What?
saw a thing where they do the candle.
Oh no,
looks really
getting
scary.
fire close to my
No, I'm
face like
good.
that. I'm good.
I'm afraid
I've
the
had
part's
it
gonna
enough.
fall into him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like anything to touch. I don't like anything touching.
You're
me.
trying to fix it, you make it worse.
Yeah.
Like if Brian's really trying to like just like irk me or something, he'll walk up and just like touch
Oh
my
yeah.
cheek, and I'm
Oh,
like,
My wife
dude.
has that issue too. It's weird.
I love it.
Yeah.
kind of sensory
Yeah.
stuff, I guess.
I'll run up and lick your face.
Oh
That's
yeah, dude.
pretty much the worst.
Yeah, dude. I do that. My wife's the same way, dude.
I'm
do
just
that
glad
to
I can
all
run
the
faster
time.
than her.
He is
I
fast.
just,
He is fast.
You gotta
He's
get
very
in like
wiry.
a spray.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just grab her face and lick. And just keep
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. Dude.
Diaries. I mean, I caught him before, but
Well, yeah, a couple times.
I have this buddy at work. He hates being touched, and I've told you about the fire department. Like it's like a 6th grade sleepover.
Oh my god, dude.
But like hella gay. Like we just hella gay around each other all the time.
It's the infantry.
I say that, I'm exaggerating, but there are moments where we just like, there's only so, and you probably know, being an OP or a fob, it's like, there's only so much you could talk about before we just start like
Doing dumb shit.
doing
weird
dumb
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Who can out-weird the next
yeah,
person?
who can
Yeah.
out-weird
You're
the-
around a bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
man. You're
dude,
gonna.
and so my
It's
buddy,
gonna get weird.
we had an inside joke. I'll try to make this one like super quick, but we had an inside joke, and he told the person about the inside joke, and then I found out that he told me, and I was like, bro, what the fuck, man? And I was like,
It's outside.
I was
now.
like, that, yeah, I was like, this was our thing.
Yeah.
Like, you betrayed our trust, dude. Like, and I was like, how are we going to remedy? And he felt bad, and then of course I was making him feel even 10 times more horrible.
Right.
And I was like, well, there's only one way to gain trust back. I was like, what you're going to have to do, he hates being touched. So like, if I was like, he would just, yeah, like
well, he kind of
just-
tickled me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
he just he's just like and I'm like, you've got to stand with your hands above your head. With no, I was like, because he was wearing a cutoff shirt. Mm-hmm. I was like, and then I have to come up behind you, like Dirty Dancing style. And I was like, and I'm gonna go from your hands and all the way down your armpits. And then we can have a bro hug. And then if you let me do that, then you've earned my trust back. And he was like, and I was like, that's the only way, dude. It's the only way. So and I was like, and we have to perform this in front of the whole fire station of like 12 people. And
So now
so
it's a
we
production.
did it, dude, and it was the most and I took my time.
Did you say it was the most magical?
It was magical,
amazing.
dude. It was so magical. I was like cheek to cheek with him. Hands down.
my
And he was the whole time he's like, hurry up.
He's shaking.
Hurry up. Hurry up. And I was like, no. I was like, just give it. Just
start
embrace it, dude. Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, yeah. If you
Fucking
flinch,
rush this,
if you
I'm
flinch,
starting
we
over.
start over from the beginning, dude.
Yep.
And I was like, you better just suck.
Wait, can we reenact it
suck
here on the podcast?
We could.
You
Dude.
start at his play button, start going.
And bro, I went down into like the dad behind the mother, holding the stomach, and I was like,
Did you get the prom photo?
oh, dude,
hands
I was,
on hips.
I was just face to cheek with him, and he's like, are we fucking done? And I was like, yes, I think
You
you've
whispered?
earned my trust back. Oh yeah, dude, it was great. It's the best thing ever, dude. I loved it so much.
Oh my god.
I have foot and mouth disease too, bro. I like making people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's-
remember
that-
those
that's-
paper matches guys when they were loading in, and we were sitting there chilling outside the thing, and I was like, God damn, you guys are gorgeous. Like, I was like, look at you guys, bro. I was like, have you guys
Yeah,
looked
they're
at
good
you?
kids.
I was like,
Yeah,
I feel
the-
horrible right
The
now.
bassist of that band, well, he worked. I think he doesn't. I don't think he works there anymore. But I worked at an oyster bar in Niceville, and after I left, he ended up working there. And then my friend there was like, "Oh, I have a kid that's in a band, and he needs some help because like I manage bands and help out with Worthy and stuff too." So he like next time I was in there, he's like, "What's up, man? Oh my god, will you help me with my band?" And like we're trying to book shows and do all this stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll check you guys out." It's not really my style, Like
Yeah.
I'm more like into what Worthy does and heavier stuff, but. Yeah, I just saw them the other night. And
Yeah.
None of them were wearing a shirt. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh
I
my
don't
god,
think
they're
I'm
really
ever
embracing
wearing a shirt
this.
when I see them.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't think I've ever seen them wearing shirts.
They
Yeah.
don't own shirts.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I don't know if I would wear one if I look like that either. Not when you're that young and fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're embracing it. I liked it when they showed up and they introduced themselves to me. I thought it was great because the vocalist was up front and he had like glasses and his shirt was all open, and I was up on stage like doing stuff and like hooking up wires and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, the Paper Matches guy here," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I walked over and I was like, "Hey, guy," like I'm just like, "Hey, what's up?" And they were all standing like in a V formation, and
They're all posing.
I think
He's
his
like
name-
running behind him and a dove flies
Nathan,
by.
I think his name's Nathan, and Nathan was up front, and he was like, "We are Paper Matches," and I was like, "Yes, the fuck you are." I was like, "You guys just keep."
Dude, we need to add
This
some
really
character
has
squalls behind that.
Dude, stay in character the whole
Paper Matches.
night, and it
Oh my
was
God.
so great. And it was so fun too because like afterwards, I didn't think they were gonna like our music, but
Right.
like after the show was and we played and everything, and they were like, "This was so much fun, dude. You guys rock. This is fuck."
Dude.
Like their real personas came out, which was cool.
You
But
know
yeah.
who they need in their band? The dude from Lost Boys, that sax player.
Oh,
Yes.
the sexy sax guy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
There's something with her and the sax guy.
What's that?
That guy,
Go ahead.
why is he so oily?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Because he's in a movie.
Because it's the
Why not?
80s,
No,
man.
he's in spandex
Nobody else
with
is that
chains and a
oily. Nobody else
saxophone.
is
That's
that
like
oily.
You saw how hot he was, though, right?
So here's the thing. Brian and his sister Sarah
and Tim.
and
My
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim was part of that too, had got me an autographed picture of him that Brian kept putting on my computer desk.
Like he scared her as a child, just made her complete not scared, but like made her really, really.
Okay, no, I had
uncomfortable.
nightmares about him. I'm not going to lie about it.
Really?
And,
I had
and we had him
nightmares.
sign it. I
That's
still
what
believe
gave
It
me
it.
wasn't the
nightmares?
rest of the movie that gave you
Yeah, I know. That
nightmares?
was the
I
night.
had a
When he's
nightmare about
attacking his
Cujo
brother?
before too, but this one was worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
why was he so greasy?
The dog's name was
It's-
Nanook.
The no, yep.
Oh yeah, I like Nanook.
Damn.
That was my favorite movie when I
Oh,
was a kid.
nice.
I
yeah.
loved that.
I would watch that on VHS, rewind it, watch it over again, just keep doing it over
Let
and
me ask
over.
you something. Did you ever notice that the blood in Lost Boys is glittery?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Did everybody know that?
I didn't know until like
I've
some months ago.
posted one TikTok video because someone was like, "You should put that on TikTok," and I've never done.
Yeah.
No, that movie was my
Anyway,
TikTok.
It went viral.
I'm not
because I posted
joking.
a thing about the blood being glittery, and everyone's like, if you were a real fan, you'd know that. And I'm like,
It's like, dude, we watched it on VHS
I
and
was
Betamax. It was
9.
not
Yeah,
the
I
clearest.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have it in 4K in the
Yeah.
80s, bro.
it's like I was watching on VHS.
Dude, I could probably recite that movie. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I do. I love the movie.
Yeah.
It's just been a while.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Really?
Yeah,
I can recite Dumb and Dumber. That's probably
it's my favorite part.
Oh.
Is it your favorite movie from like childhood?
Oh, absolutely, number one.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's like in my top 5.
So it was Labyrinth for a little while when I was a
Yes.
kid.
That's a great movie.
And then like the come inside, meet the missus, have some tea. I love that.
Not the bog of eternal stench.
And Legend.
Yeah, I don't.
Legend
I've
was
never
one of
seen
mine.
that. I don't
With
think
Tom
I've ever watched
Cruise
that.
and Tim Curry.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it was a never-ending story.
Oh, Never Ending
Yeah,
Story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to see Legend. Tim Curry's the devil.
Devil.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It's so good.
No,
Yeah, I've seen
I
it.
It's very magical.
I think I'm. You know what? Actually, you know what? I think I'm the same way with movies as I am with bands. Like, I find a band I really like, and I cannot stop listening to them,
I'm the same.
and I'm
Yep.
just stuck. And like, it was like that when I was in the military, 4 Years Strong. They came out, could not stop listening to them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
shout out 4 Years Strong. I mean, they don't. They get so much praise. I'm from Boston, so they're from that area, and they get. All my friends back home were like, "You gotta check out this band," and I was like, "Okay," but like, they were pop punk. Like, I feel like before it was like pop punk, really.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and they were like hardcore at this. Like, they were just like this blend of. And I heard them, and I was like, "This is the shit!" Like, everything. They're all so talented. All of them can sing.
Oh, yeah.
All of them play their instruments like beautifully.
So do you have one band that you guys are obsessing over where it's like that's the band you listen to like most right now on
Right
repeat?
now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably mine's Veil Maya right now.
Oh yeah.
They produce nothing bad in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm blown away by that band.
Yeah. No, mine is Johnny Booth.
Oh, Johnny Booth too. Yeah,
Dude.
I listened to them on the way over here.
Me too. I can't stop listening to
Yeah,
them.
Johnny Booth is dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked them out, yeah.
I'm gonna-
They're
That's
playing
what
in
they say.
Alabama. I'm going. So I don't even know how I came across. It was just like a Spotify playlist, and they played, and whatever it is about the music, it's like they're kind of like Loathe. If you've ever listened to
I
Loathe,
know who that is.
I don't know. They're so good.
It's a
though.
mixture of like so much stuff. Yeah,
They got singing. They got it's
Yeah.
like hardcore where you could be like,
they've got some metalcore elements in there too.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
I like
they've been
so many
my
different
obsession
stuff.
right
I'm
now.
super open-minded with music. I'm not anti anything.
Yeah.
There's stuff I don't listen to as much, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like bigger than that. I don't know. And like now that I went to the Jelly Roll show, I've been listening to him
Country.
like crazy too.
Oh, that Colton Waller, something or other. I can't remember that dude's name. I don't have my phone because it's recording. Man, yeah, it's a country dude. I started
I
listening
don't know anything
to a
about
little
country
bit.
other than Jelly Roll because that's all
Yeah.
I've been listening to. But
He's very interesting. Just has a Johnny Cash feel to it. I think it's
nice.
Colton Wall. My wife was playing it the other day, and then she played something else from it too that was pretty dope. I don't know. I don't get
I
into all
like the
the
stuff that it sounds like you're like driving through the desert
Yeah,
in
that's
like Arizona, and it's like kind of dirty.
like the
but
Colton Wall
I don't know, I love
or
stuff like
Colton
that.
Waller or
Yeah.
something like that. I was listening to that, and I'm playing like Red Dead Redemption 2 again,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, he should have done the whole fucking soundtrack for this
yeah,
thing.
right.
It would have been so awesome. But I don't get down with like the pro country thing. Like,
Nope.
like my wife took me to Kenny Chesney, and I
No.
would like, he came out, and everybody stood up, and I just sat there. And then I like looked at the sound booth, and I was more interested in the sound booth. And I was like, I wonder what they're running back there, and I wonder what kind of light system they're using.
I do
and-
that as soon as I go into a venue. If I haven't, especially if it's somewhere that's kind of new, I immediately start looking at all the lights and trying
Yeah.
to follow what the lights are doing.
Yeah.
And trying like sometimes like game plan in my head. I mean, I have to follow the light photos, so it just
Yeah.
makes-
Yeah, right.
And I'm kind
But-
of obsessed with lighting.
But I will say that Kenny Chesney did put on a great show. Like, he played no slow songs. Everything was like, let's have a party. So I appreciated that from him. I just, everything's about margaritas and beer and, jeans painted on
Ricky
tight.
Van Shelton was my first concert. I was like 10.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mine was Lee Greenwood.
As
I'm
it
proud
should
to be an
as
American. Yeah, I was born.
I'm trying to.
born for that.
Mine was my first concert ever was Whitney Houston, and
Oh, lucky.
uh, yeah, it was at Great Woods in Massachusetts. But that's when I realized I wanted to be a singer. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do, because she was like live.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was before
I can't
auto
even
tune and all that
imagine.
stuff.
Like-
Killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was young, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And then like,
She's
started
the
to play
She's the
guitar
best,
and-
dude.
oh yeah,
Whitney
yeah.
Houston's the best, dude.
No, I'm
Yeah.
so freaking. I saw TLC when I was a kid. My parents were split, and my mom lived in Norton, which is like, it's like where the Centrum is, like where the big amphitheater is. And she became really good friends with the guy that worked at Ticketmaster. They've been friends for a while, and that worked there at the venue.
Yeah.
And he would just pass my mom tickets to like every show that came through. So like, it was in our backyard, so we would just go to amphitheater shows
Nice.
all the time.
Oh, that'd
So I got to see like Jimmy Buffett. We went to like the country festival. Like I saw Adam Sandler like back in
that
the
would be
day.
fun.
Pretty rad.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was. I saw so many shows there and TLC and all that. So it was like I was really lucky. And it's funny because my parents crapped on me when I started a band. Like they were like, "Oh, why would you do?" My dad was obsessed with Santana, listened to Santana all the time, played the drums on the
Yeah.
steering wheel as we're going on trips, and like my mom's bringing me to all these shows, and like, you thought I wasn't gonna get into
Yeah.
music? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is all I'm around all the time. So, I literally went to shows all the time when I was,
I was
a kid.
terrible
So,
at every instrument I picked up. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I ended up still. And I don't know. It's the one place where I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I just never felt like that.
I feel that it
Before
feels like
anything
home.
else.
Yeah, it's like this is the one thing that like raises the hair on the back of my
Yeah.
neck. You know, like Jelly Roll came out and like they're playing like this heavy riff. It was so cool, the intro, and I just like the hair on the back of my neck, and I was like, that's the feeling I love. This is awesome. I love being
Yeah.
a part of this.
And
There's
that's-
some local bands I see where I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, this is awesome.
There
you
are
know?
so many underrated local bands in the Panhandle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I don't say it just because we're friends with so many people. I don't know how you guys are not on tour right now. I have no idea how. But there's quite a few of you guys that it's just timing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right place, right time, right
Yeah.
person has to see and hear something.
Yeah, it's also a mindset thing, you know. If it's a lot harder in a band. It's easier when you're solo. Like when you're doing photography, you know, like it's me. I have to do this.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a band, you're like, I have all these other dudes I have to babysit, and we all have to be on the same page. So I think that's and no offense to you, but like with Worthy, that's been the thing. Is like he has that mindset of like. I mean, he personally, if it was just him running the band and he was every member of the band, they'd be on tour and signed right now. You know what I mean? So, like, it's finding the right people around you in a
Yeah.
band. Because that was our thing, too, with my band is, like, and this is no knock on my members. Maybe I wasn't ready either, but, like, we just didn't have that right mindset. We weren't all on the same page. So it's a lot easier when you're solo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
In
it's like,
theory, it sounds
I know
great.
why I messed up because it was me.
You know?
Like,
There's so many stuff you have to
Yeah.
put off that you can't
Yeah.
do. I mean, you're not working
Yeah.
that whole time.
Well, that too, and it's like, and then just getting the money to, you know, people got bills, and then life situations come up, and then I just think that everybody, I always tell him, I'm like, everybody wants to be in a band until it's time to be in a band.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, you know, and then time gets taken away from your significant other, money. There's no money in this.
No.
I mean,
There's
even
none.
at the highest levels, if you look at like, I've seen breakdowns of like shows that garner like $100,000, and the breakdown to where it gets to the band.
It's like
And-
$3,000 to split up for 4 people.
Yeah.
I think I saw $100,000, and I think the band pocketed after everything. It was like 15, 18 grand out of 100. Everything
Oh,
else
wow.
went to paying for everything else. So like, there's not a lot of money even at the highest level, you know. So it's
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
when you do the math and you start breaking it down, you see
Yeah.
the paychecks. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
like all that.
I mean, at one time, I'm sure it was very lucrative, when people bought albums and, things like that, and you got
days of
points,
MTV.
but that's all,
Yeah.
that's all over and done with.
Yeah, everything's like just merch, like
Yeah.
creating.
But even that
either
gets-
a merch line or
even
something
that
like
gets
that
taken,
with your band.
taken advantage of by,
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is the percentage?
gotta
I
use
was
the bathroom
almost the
quick.
first one
Yeah.
to knock a cup over.
you good?
What is the percent? Is there an average percentage that they take from merch at venues?
25%.
Oh, at venues?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not all of them, but I know.
Well,
some
yeah,
of them
like
do.
the major artists that go through,
Yeah.
It's 25%.
No one ever asked for a split of our
But
merch or
that's-
anything
you're
like
not
that.
on-
So. But I mean, yeah, we
Yeah,
weren't on tour.
yeah.
I get it. But
well, no. I mean, like, not even just on tour, but like, what did we say? The freaking
Skateboard.
what was the place that was buying up venues and stuff?
Live Nation?
Live Nation.
Oh.
So if those Live Nation shows that come around everywhere, that's 25%, regardless of where
Oh,
you're
yeah.
playing. So
Oh.
and then you only play in the Live Nation if you're on that Live Nation.
Yeah, I don't
Tours-
know
tours.
percentages for sure.
It's 25% is what I've
Okay.
been told. In like even overseas, it's 25%, and then overseas you have the VAT tax, so you're taxed twice. Not only just it's unreal. So there's no money, and then that just leads into and then people have short attention spans too, man. Like Worthy's been going for 7 years. I've had a full, almost a full change in members, and now I'm on my second change of a lot of members. So it's
Or is it changed since the last time I did photos with you guys?
yeah, I don't. It's right now. It's just me and Ben. John stepped away.
I did see that John stepped away.
Yeah, Brent is off doing travel nursing, so he's still he's a member of the band, but he's doing the travel nursing thing. He's
Yeah.
not here. And then Scott still writes and then flies in if there's a major show or something that he wants to do. But yeah, so we just found a new drummer. Waiting to announce that for a little bit.
Cool.
But we found one, and just want to kind of come out and have everything ready before we make the official announcement and whatnot. But I guess I just officially announced it now, but I haven't announced.
Yeah, but it won't be out
I haven't
for,
announced who
a
it
couple
is.
weeks.
You gotta
Yeah.
announce it before you release this.
But yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
for
and
sure.
then I'm still
Yeah.
looking for another stringed member, either a bass player or a guitarist, to stand on stage because I just think it looks better having 4 people
Yeah.
on stage rather than a 3-piece as a metal band. Just we're not a jazz.
seems like
we're not a blues
Empty
band.
on
You
the
know what I mean?
stage.
Like
Yeah.
it just kind of fills the stage and
Yeah,
so-
he did a good job of like, when it since like everything, and it's just been you up there playing strings. It's still pretty cool because it's
Yeah.
like, damn, how is one dude doing all that? Like,
Yeah, it was,
and it's so technical too. So it's just cool. That
it's a
he's
lot
able
more
to do that.
exhausting because you're having to go from one side of the stage to
Yeah.
the other repeatedly.
Your
I'm
guys'
like,
music
oh my
is super
god.
technical. I noticed
Yeah.
that too.
Some of it,
I don't know
yeah.
that much about. I know that I am not good at it. So when I see people doing what you guys do, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. The guys would be writing music or something. I'm like, good job, guys. I can't.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I was the screamer.
You were just the screen.
Yeah, I just yelled
Yeah.
into a microphone. Yeah, for real.
And motivated people in the crowd.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the screamer motivator.
You had the you definitely had the 2010 vocalist look.
Yeah.
I was watching a couple videos. You had like cut off sleeve
dude.
shirt.
Yeah, when I
And,
first started in the band, I don't know how to dress myself today. So like, when I was, and it was so funny because when I was in the military, all my friends like, we would go out, and one day my buddy was like, "Dude, we got to work on what you're wearing because this wardrobe is just not working." I had like a Slipknot T-shirt with khaki pants and like cargo pants and shit like that, and like just regular like Skechers shoes or something. And my buddies were like, "Throw all your shit away. Like, keep the Slipknot shirt, it's cool, but like, let's throw everything else out and get you like jeans and like stuff that actually fits you." And so it changed my whole life.
Oh, I've had to change my look too.
But-
Doing this. I wear a lot more black on black now
Yeah.
than I used to.
Well, and all that to say, once I got in the band, they were like, dude, you have to look like you're in a band. Like, you don't look at all like you're in a band. I was still wearing Slipknot shirts, but I just did not look like in a band,
I'll tell you, though, the people that always go the hardest, it's the guy that walks in with the khakis.
Looks
No,
like an
yeah.
accountant.
If he looks like an accountant,
You're dying.
he's about to fucking destroy you.
You're gonna die.
Oh no!
done.
Yeah, I think it fits certain. There's this one band up in Boston, and they're heavy as fuck, and they all wear like white, like what is it, like golf shirts, and they look like they're like about to go golfing.
Somebody's uncle.
Dude,
Yeah,
and it's actually kind of badass because they get up there, you're like, oh okay, they're like gonna be like a kind of bluesy, I guess, I don't know, like chill band, and then they're like. And you're like, holy fuck! Like, and they got the lights and everything. They actually
When I
do
got
a
a
great job.
concussion last year, it was a guy that walked in that looked like he was just fishing on his boat. And anyway, I got a concussion from that guy.
Oh my
It was
god!
my first concussion as a photographer.
He got a little excited in the pit.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
nice.
singer jumped down and
Yeah, it was.
scooped me up and swinging.
So what's next for Dee Dee Kohl Photography?
I hope I can do this for many, 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 many years. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I get younger people that are like, how do I get into it as a job? And I'm like, if you want it as a job, you're talking to the wrong person. It's not why I do it.
Yeah.
I love music. I love photography. I love music photography. And I just love doing this. I never went into it for the money. And even when I get paid for stuff, it's not very much. And luckily we're in a place where that's okay. So
Yeah.
I am doing it for the love of what I do. And I just want to do this. I don't think I ever had an ultimate goal with it. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel the same way. I wasn't any more nervous like at this last show at the Civic Center. I wasn't nervous any different for that than right before I start, because I still do stuff with so many local bands. Like, I didn't necessarily slow down with local bands. I just have access to bigger shows now, so it's mixed in with it. And I do find myself some weeks where I tell people that I'm booked. I lie sometimes, but I do have to take breaks.
Yeah.
Because it got to where now I'm doing so. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm doing more than I can't, because I mean, a lot of people that know me don't know I am legally disabled from a spinal injury that is horribly painful. So I do sometimes when I leave shows early, it's because I'm done. Like, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm done for the night.
I mean, one show, depending on the lineup, could be anywhere from 1 to 3 days. So if you have a show on
Yeah.
Sunday, and you're working 3 days, and you got a show Wednesday, and then you're working till Friday, and that's usually our week starts Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's just nonstop. So, I mean, yeah, you're not behind a camera, but you're still in front of a screen. You know, it's
I
a
would
lot.
love to
It's
do
a
a
whole lot.
tour though, and I just don't know. I don't know how to go about it. Like, I know that we've had 2 bands that were kind of up and coming, but I was going to be in an SUV with 5 other people.
No.
And I'm like, listen, 20 years ago, I would have sat in the back with no seatbelt, but I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
My back hurts, and I need to sleep somewhere where I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's not about being bougie. I'm just old, and I want to be comfortable. My back already hurts.
Yeah.
So I would love to do a tour and just have the experience of that. And that's something that I haven't done that I would like to do. And I don't know how much longer. Nobody knows how much longer. Not to be
Yeah.
morbid, but I don't know how much longer I have of this left in me where I can keep doing it how I'm doing it, because I do have weird health issues. I just want to do it as long as I can.
Awesome.
What's up for Dead Devils? You got anything?
We got practice
for later in the year.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's how we kind of
You're
do it.
gonna be
We're just
playing
like, you know, we
shows.
play show to show to show, and we
Yeah,
keep it
yeah.
like that because we do take it serious, but we're not trying to like do it as a career and monetize this thing. It's more of a fun venture for us.
Yeah.
And all of us in the band feel the way. If it starts becoming like work and we're like forcing ourselves to do it, we're gonna stop. You know,
Yeah.
and we're all on the same page. It's like it's just to have fun and just to fuck around for a couple hours on
Yeah.
the weekdays, and then 30 minutes. And that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, we got some pretty big shows coming up though. Guttermouth and DRI
Yeah.
is coming up. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got Soap Girls, and we have
Something that you can't announce yet, right? Something you guys talked about.
Oh, yeah. That's in January. Old school band.
that was December 14th.
Okay.
It
If
was-
I ever say don't worry, I won't tell anybody, I'm going to tell Brian.
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't- yeah.
That one,
That's-
that one's still.
that one
was-
hasn't been announced
That's
yet.
3 after the DRI.
Yeah, yeah.
3
Okay.
days after DRI.
I want to make
But,
sure I didn't say like.
And we got
Yeah.
like a cover show this Saturday. I don't know when this is gonna come out. Probably past it. This Saturday at CBGB cover show.
Yeah.
That's going to be
It's
fun.
gonna be a lot of
It's
fun.
with the Ramones cover band coming down, and that's gonna be a really fun show. You guys don't usually do like covers, so
No.
it'll be.
Different.
We
Nice.
got a
Well-
guest singer that is going to be singing a Blondie song.
And a runaway song.
Yeah. I think we better wrap it up.
Yeah, we're good.
It's getting crazy in here.
I know.
Yeah, it's so cool to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Water Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a little skate
It's
park
a-
here,
yeah,
so if
skate
you
park,
skate, this is the place to be. They
Yep.
got food
Yeah, for
next
anybody who
door.
hasn't seen it. Yeah, and
coffee.
downstairs, the cafe.
Single Fin Cafe is amazing.
Is so good.
Yep. Pensacola area, definitely stop by.
Yeah.
So get some.
Yeah, it's awesome they let us do this here. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for being on. We could probably
Thank you,
talk
guys.
for
Thanks for having
another
us.
We'll have to
freaking
do it again.
couple
I didn't
days.
realize what time I picked it up
Um,
when you said wrap it up. I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, we've been going at it for an hour and a half now.
yeah.
All right, peace.
Thanks, y'all.
Later.
Bye, guys.
With no place to go.